Okay, so in the last video we have discussed about the structure of bone and function of skeletal system were remaining to be discussed. So in today's video we will be discussing about the function of skeletal system and axial skeletal system and appendicular skeletal system. So initially I am going to give here the heading. So today we will be discussing what? We will be discussing about the function of skeletal system. Alright, what's its function? Skeletal system. Alright, so what are the functions of skeletal system? So let me write here. Alright, so the first function of a skeletal system is what? It maintains the posture of our body. So let me write here, it maintains the posture of our body, like maintenance of posture. Alright, it maintains the posture of our body. So maintenance the posture of our body. Alright, so what's the second function of skeletal system? Let's see. So the second function of skeletal system, it is what? It has a protective function. Alright, how it is a protective function? We'll discuss about that as well. Wait, let me write this first. It has protective function. Alright, it has protective function. Now how it has protective function? Because it protects soft body organs, like we have lungs, we have then kidney, then we have heart. So these are covered with what? Rib cage. Alright, so what it provides? It provides the protective function as well. So it is providing protection to the soft body organs like heart, lungs and kidney. So we have concluded that as well, protective function. So what's the third function? Let's check that as well. Let me write this with this color now. Alright, what's the third function? So it has the storage of fats and minerals like calcium and phosphate. We know that, we have discussed this yesterday as well. Calcium is stored in the bones. Alright, so it has the storage of fats, as we have seen adipose tissue, alright, yesterday. Fats and minerals. Minerals includes what? It includes calcium and phosphate. So let me write here, calcium and phosphate. So third function is clear as well. Now what's the fourth function? Like red bone marrow is found in bones and is responsible for what? It is responsible for making the RBCs, which are red blood cell. So this is the fourth function, which is a very important function of the skeletal system. Alright, what's the fourth function we do have? That is red bone marrow is found in the bones and it is responsible for the RBCs. So I should write this, RBCs are made in red bone marrow, which is found in skeletal system. Is found in bone. Alright, in bone. So we have discussed the fourth function as well. Like RBCs are very important, we know that. So RBCs are made where? They are made in the red bone marrow, and red bone marrow was present in the bone, as we have seen that yesterday. Alright, in the structure of bone. So this is very important function. The last function of skeletal system, that it plays role in body movement as well. Wait, let me write here, then I'll tell you. So this color is fine, I guess. It plays an important role in body's movement. Body's movement. Like if skeletal system is not present, then we are not like able to move. So this is very important function. Skeletal system plays very main role in body's movement, all right, in the locomotion. So now as we have discussed about the function of skeletal system, so now we are going towards the human skeletal system, all right. Let me write here the topic first, what we are going to discuss about human skeleton. Skeleton, all right, we are going to discuss now what human skeleton. So here I am going to make the structure so that we can identify what structures are present in the axial skeletal system as well as in the appendicular skeletal system. So let me make here the diagram first. So I am making skull with white color. This is the skull we do have, all right. Then again here we have vertebral column. So I am making here a vertebral column. This is all vertebral column, which is comprised of 7 cervical vertebrae, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, and then sacrum, and then coccyx. All right, we'll be discussing that as well. So this is vertebral column. All right, here somewhere we have sternum. All right, as we have discussed that in our urinary system as well when we were discussing about the location of kidney. So here we have what? Here we have sternum. So this is the structure, sternum. All right, then here we have what? Here we have ribs which are attached to the sternum and the vertebral column. So let me make these ribs with what color? Yeah, that is fine, I guess. Yep. So here we have what? Rib cages. Yes, all right. As we have discussed that as well, we have discussed about the true ribs and the false ribs and the floating ribs, all right. Then we'll be discussing that in the detail, but let me make the structure first, all right. So now here we have somewhere is pectoral girdle, all right. Here we have, which is butterfly like structure, pectoral girdle, all right. Then here we have limbs, which are 4 limbs. We'll be discussing that as well. Here we'll have one joint. We'll be discussing about that. No need to worry. Here we have one small bone, and then here we'll have phalanges, metacarpals and carpals. Carpals, metacarpals and phalanges. All right. So here we'll have 4 limbs. Again 4 limbs. Here again we'll have carpals, metacarpals and phalanges. We'll discuss that, all right. So here we have one structure which is known as pelvic girdle, all right. So here we have pelvic girdle. This is the pelvic girdle, and then again here we have what? Here we have limbs, hind limbs, all right. So this is the structure of what? This is the structure of skeletal system, our human skeletal system. So let me label it first so that we can identify the structures. So this is what? This is the skull, all right. These are what? These are 4 limbs, all right. These are 4 limbs. These are 4 limbs, and these are hind limbs. Hind limbs. This is what? This is the girdle. which is pelvic girdle. Alright, pelvic girdle. Then again here we have what? Pectoral girdle. Pectoral girdle. Alright, these are what? These are the ribs. These are ribs. Here we have one structure which is sternum. Sternum. Alright, here we have our vertebral column. Vertebral column. Alright, here I have made one structure. Now we have to identify what structures are present in the axial skeletal system and what structures are present in the appendicular skeletal system. Like why we have divided these structure in two types. Why? Like why in the axial, why in the appendicular? Let's check that first. Alright, so let me make here first. Alright. I should check with this. So as you can see, we have the parts which are present in the center as well and in the sides as well. So we are going towards the center first. So as you can see, if I am cutting these, I'm not cutting. This picture will then create a mess. Okay, so what is, initially I'm going to write here what we have, alright. I am going to write here human skeletal system. Human skeletal system. Alright, skeletal system I should write as well. System. So now it is divided into two parts. Let me make those parts as well. First one is what? It is axial skeletal system. Axial skeletal system. And the second one is what? It is appendicular skeletal system. Appendicular skeletal system. Alright. So now what is axial skeletal system and what is appendicular skeletal system? Let's check that first. So axial means the parts which are which lies on the axis of the body. Alright, so as you can see, axis means center. So what structures are present in the center? As you can see here, you can count with me here. So first one is what? It is the skull. Second one, we do have ribs. Alright, this will create mess then. So second one is ribs. Alright, we have counted what? We have counted skull, we have counted ribs, then we have structure. As you can see here, this is present in the center as well. So third one is what? It is sternum. Then we have vertebral column. As you can see here, these are present in the center as well. So what structure we have counted yet? Skull, vertebral column, sternum and ribs. These are what? These lie in the center of the body. Alright, the bones which will be in the center of the body will be counted in axial skeletal system. So I should easily write here what structures are present in the axial skeletal system. Wait, let me write these here. So first one is what? Let me make like this. Alright, first, second, third and fourth. So what structures are present in the fourth? That is skull. We'll be counting that as well. How many bones are there in the skull? So let me tell you that thing as well. Skull has total 29 bones. We'll count these 29 bones. How skull is making 29 bones? We'll be counting that as well. Because it is comprised of again 4 parts. Cranium, hyoid, facial bones and ear ossicles. We'll be counting that in the next video. Don't need to worry about that. So first one is skull, Second one which we do have, that is vertebral column. Vertebral column. How many bones are present in the vertebral column? So let's check that first. So we do have 26 bones in the vertebral column. 26 bones. 29 bones in the skull. Alright. 26 bones in the vertebral column. Now let's see the third structure. So the third is sternum. Alright. That is sternum, and it has only one bone, as you can see here. I have made this here. So sternum is only one, so we have written that. Alright. Sternum has only one bone. Then the last structure is ribs. As you have already heard that we have 12 pairs of ribs. So 12 into 2 is what? 24. So 24 bones we have in the ribs, which means 12 pairs. 12 pairs. Alright. So if I do talk about total bones of the axial skeletal system, so it is comprised of what? Wait, let me write this here. Alright. So axial skeletal system is totally comprised of 80 bones. 80 bones. Alright, as we have seen here. As you can count here as well, 29 of skull. Alright, 26 of vertebral column, 1 of sternum, and 24 of ribs. So count this: 9 and 6, 15, 16, 20. Alright, 0 here, 2 up. Then 2, 2, 4, 4 and 2, 6, 6 and 2, 8. So as you can see here, 80 bones we do have in the axial skeletal system. Here we have verified as well. 80 bones. Alright. So now let's see what structures are present in the appendicular skeletal system. As we have seen about the axial skeletal system, but now let me tell you about the appendicular skeletal system as well. So appendicular skeletal system means the bones which are present on the side of the body, not in the center, but now on the side of the body. Alright, we can say that. We have girdle which is present on the side of the body, this girdle. Alright, then we have forelimbs and as well as we have hind limbs. So I can easily write here now what structures are present in these. So the first one is limbs. As you can see, both limbs, not only forelimbs but the hind limbs as well. Forelimbs, hind limbs, both structures are present. So let me write these here. We do have forelimbs, not with this color. Alright, we do have forelimbs as well as we have hind limbs. Alright, so we have limbs, and the second structure is what? As I have told you, both girdles, pelvic as well as pectoral. So here let me write that as well. Girdles include both what? Pelvic and pectoral. So here let me write this: pelvic, girdle and pectoral girdle. Pectoral girdle. Alright, so we have written here both things. So we have to just count how many limbs we do have. So 4 limbs are comprised of 60 bones. 60 bones, as well as hind limbs are comprised of 60 bones. Alright. Then we do have pelvic girdle. Pelvic girdle is comprised of 4 bones. 4 bones. And pectoral girdle is comprised of, sorry, here I should write, wait. Pectoral girdle is comprised of 4 bones. And pelvic girdle is comprised of 2 bones. Alright. So pelvic is comprised of 2 bones. Pectoral is comprised of 4 bones. So let me count this as well, so that I can write the total number of the bones in the appendicular system, appendicular skeletal system. So 60 of forelimbs, 60 of hind limbs, 2 of pelvic girdle, and 4 of pectoral girdle. As you can count this, 2 and 4, 6 I have written here, and 6 is 6, 6 and 6 is 12. So 126 bones are present in what? This is the verification. Let me write this. Verification. And how many bones are present in the appendicular skeletal system now? That is 126 bones. Alright, if I do count these both structures together, axial skeletal system as well as the appendicular system. Now axial skeletal system has 80 bones and appendicular skeletal system has 126 bones. So if I do count these, 6, 2 and 8 is 10, 0 here, 1 up, 1 and 1 is 2. So as we have heard that we have 206 bones, alright. In our body, our human body skeletal system is comprised of 206 bones. So here we have verified as well how we have 206 bones. So in the next video we will be talking about like how skull is comprised of 29 bones. We'll be counting the vertebral columns bones as well. We'll be counting each and every bone. All right, so this was all for today.